Hi everyone and welcome to Mega's Creations. In today's video, we'll be doing a final flip through of the New York Travel Journal I created for my friends Emma and Ruby who went in December of 2024. So to begin with, we have the cover, which is made out of the New Yorker magazine from December 16th, 2024. They collected this and we all agreed that it needed to feature somehow in a very prominent way because it is so classically New York, hence why I've made it the cover. What I was struggling with, and if you've seen the series, you would have heard me mention it multiple times, is the construction of the book. I created this with single sheets as opposed to signatures, and binding was something that I struggled with in terms of conceptualizing. However, we've done it. So what I have done is a Japanese stab binding method and gone through each sheet of paper and made this journal. So we're going to go through page by page. I'll give you a little bit of a recount and anecdotes from their trip. And yeah, so that's the cover. First page looks like this. Speaking of the New Yorker, it always features puzzles and games of the sort. So I thought that would be a nice opening page with this Hello New York City title page. We have the dates that they went, which is the 14th to the 22nd of December 2024. This is a postcard that I had in my collection that I kiss cut and stuck there. We used some Scrabble tiles and some wooden pieces. Now, day one is, of course, the travel day. And I really love how this book came out. We have a pocket made out of a map that my friend bought specifically for me to include in this journal. My friends were very intentional and they went on the trip knowing that I would be making this for them. So they were keeping their eyes peeled and collecting anything and everything they thought that I could use, including their tickets, of course. So this is their Auckland to New York City. Their Sydney to Auckland was a digital ticket, which more and more companies and activities are doing nowadays. We're going digital. This is their Trader Joe's seat when they landed, and they got choc snacky clusters, and I've just stapled that onto this New York City page that I got from a World Encyclopedia. It is the Childcraft version, and I think it's from the 1960s, which I was so glad to acquire into my collection from my yaya. So that sits like that. We then go into another New Yorker page, which is one of the first pages, and it gives you a little synopsis. It features Elon Musk, and I think that, and it also talks about Trump, which is very, I'd like to have incorporated this not only for the graphic up here, but it's also so contextually relevant and captures the state of the world today and where we're at. I've got this beautiful ticket scrapbook paper and then just goings on. So if they wanted to put a picture here or do some sort of journaling, I can incorporate some bits and bobs for them in that regard. Oh, okay. This spread is so fun. So they went to the NFL. It wasn't the Beyonce NFL, which I keep noting because imagine. This is the spread. So we've got this no, it's not vintage. We've got this denim pocket, and they collected this pin, and I thought, what is a fun way to incorporate that? And let's use it quite literally and functionally. And I also had this rainbow pin in my collection. So from that, we've incorporated the tickets. So this is their train tickets to and from the stadium, and this one is an in and out, so they can examine it, they can write on the back if they wish, as well as here. This snowflake definition is from a children's what's it called, the Illustrated Children's Dictionary. Really cute. We've got this I am a sock from a game because my friend, here we go, bought socks whilst she was at the stadium because apparently it was cold, and I now know why I included this snowflake definition, because the socks were had snowflakes on them, and that just sits really snugly and cute in that pocket there. They bought this card, speaking of buying things for this journal and intentionally. This card they bought, and I've just included it so they can write in it or include some photos. And this paper, because I am a junk journaler and have been a collector for a very long time, this page is actually from the school diaries that we went to. So all three of us went to the same high school, and this is from one of the school diaries that we had, and I thought that the colors just matched so perfectly. It was from December, and I was like, what a little nod to our shared history. This is one of my favorite pages. So it tells a lot of stories. It is about my friend going to Shakespeare on Broadway. It's about them moving hotels from, I don't remember where they stayed initially, but to this hotel here. So we've got this circular cutout that says Hotel Times Square, because from their new hotel, they could see Times Square. We've got some Tim Holtz elements decorating that page. And then we have this, which is a nod to the fact that they went around Central Park on carriage. And we've got that little, oh, mind blank, matchbox. This is from a matchbox, and it's a carriage, horse and carriage. I thought that was a really cute nod. This background paper, which features more fully on this page, is from the Flow Travel Lovers book. Again, super cute. If you know what Ruby and Emma look like, I'll show you a photo at the end, but this is so them. Like, it is honestly uncanny, the resemblance. So it was a no-brainer for me to include that here. We then have these two postcards that they collected. So this one is from the famous Naked Cowboy, and we've just incorporated this cowboy. I actually think I have that handy. No, oh yes I do. This paper pad from Cartabella called Cowboys, and we incorporated this one so you can see it a little bit more fully. And New York Statue of Liberty sticker, Times Square there. All of these nods are intentionally thought out, and they collected that one, which is all incorporated in a music pocket because he plays music. I think that's fun, and it will make more sense in just a moment. We also have this Hotel New Yorker vintage matchbook that I had to include for them. And I've lost a paper clip that was keeping that in place, but I'm sure I'll find it again. So speaking of the music page, Autumn in New York, I thought that was a lovely inclusion. I did go back and forth about it because they didn't go in autumn, they went in winter, and I was struggling so immensely with that thought. But I was like, Janet, it is okay. I talked it through with my friend, and she's like, just include it. So I'm very grateful that she talks me through those things. And then this page is actually from a vintage childcraft book, which I think is such a cute inclusion with the Statue of Liberty there, and the colors are just beautiful. Now we come into the Met. So the Met has several spreads featured because it's such a iconic landmark or activity to do in New York. So we've got 2 tickets that they collected. These are actually stickers, so they can put that around where they choose. And I've made this into a pocket, which is actually from the brochure, and it shows you the facade of the Met, which I think is really fun. And again, to include that there, visit the Met. This is also from the same brochure actually, and it just says map, hello, and then I've got this little inclusion that says the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City has more than 365,000 works of art. It occupies 4 city blocks and is the largest art museum in the United States. That is again from, oh, I found the paperclip. That is again from the Vintage World Book Encyclopedia, and nothing goes to waste when I include things. So I thought that was fun. Speaking of, everything is bleeding so lovely together today. Speaking of that world book, this is another page that I've included from it, which is just giving you a little bit of a background of the cultural life and recreation of New York City. We've got Broadway theatre, performing arts. I think it's so beautiful. Okay, this pocket is so fun. It is from a Tutankhamun book that I collected, and it has this stamp of some sort of cartouche, Wow, it's been really long since I've pronounced that word, so I'm probably butchering it, but I thought it was so cute. And then I've incorporated this little flip out, and I was a little bit skeptical to include, like, I wanted to cover this. And then I thought about it, and actually I collected this when my friends and I went to the National Museum together. So I was like, no, this is an Egyptian themed spread, and this is something that I've also collected with them. So I thought that was fun. It opens out, we've got another definition as to what a museum is, and although chipmunks aren't squirrels, they're in the same family. I didn't have a squirrel card, but I included this because when they were recounting the stories to me, they said they saw squirrels. And then they collected this from an artist. I believe that Ruby bought a print from her. So that's another little memento that they collected, as well as, let's see if I can get this out. Oh, I have glued it together. One, and I've glued it a little bit to this piece, I think. Okay, and then this is a family guide. They actually FaceTimed me whilst they saw this artifact, which felt really special. I FaceTimed them when I was in Amsterdam, so just catching up whilst on our travels. I thought this was really cute and I couldn't cut it down. Look at that. I was going to include that as the page, but I thought, let's just incorporate the whole thing. Also included in that pocket like this is a little page about Shakespeare. It came from a movie trivia book, and I thought it was cute because, as I said, my friends saw Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet on Broadway, and there's a little question here about Romeo and Juliet and just Shakespeare in general. So that's also included, and it also looks really beautiful, the blues of this, when you open the map of the Met and the blues matching with the orange. I think personally this is a really beautiful spread, super interactive. It includes Brooklyn Bridge here as a sticker. It also feels really textural, which is nice, and just some vellum USA Statue of Liberty there, who, as you know, features quite frequently in this book. This was the first spread I created, guys. So it is them ice skating on Walman Rink in Bryant Park. So we've got this postcard that they collected. It is a tip-in. They can write here with a vintage stamp that says, "We hold these truths from the United States." We have this pocket made out of a Tim Holtz. Oh, is this 49 and Market actually? I think it might be, which is stamped with New York, some more tickets and some ice skates. This is from a children's book, and I've made it into a fun pocket. We've got an Apple flashcard because New York is the Big Apple, a bookmark because my friends and I love the book fair, and some more tickets. This says "Snow Much Fun" and is on some foam pieces. That is a piece from KB and Friends. Another spread that I absolutely adore. In New York City, Times Square turns to art at midnight, I believe it was. So I have another tip in from a postcard that they collected. And these are picture frames that says "Changing Frames" because, of course, the screens have a lot of advertising during the day, and then to turn to art at night, they change frames. And the city that never sleeps, iconic New York through and through. On this side, I just think that it's such a clever page, and I know that is saying a lot coming from someone that created it. But we've got the picture frames, again, another nod. Some more over here, the Statue of Liberty. It is super cold, and my friend got a standby ticket to go see Jimmy Fallon with another apple charm. Super fun, super colorful. I really enjoy this page. Then this one is, of course, going to Central Station, and another tip-in, which we love. Spaces to journal, spaces to include photos. This is another train ticket that features in a pocket. We have a skirt steak postcard. I think this is so cute that the restaurant gave this to them with their receipt, and it opens like that. I did this collage on camera and I remember not loving it, but I think collectively it looks really pretty. And this is also a New York minute from the New Yorker, and like I said, their receipt. So that just sits in this little tuck that I created, and I like it because you can see a New York minute when the page is as a whole. We have the rockets. Love this spread too. I know I keep saying that, but I'm honestly just really proud and excited to be able to show you guys the work that we put in, because I filmed a lot of this. This spread is featuring a lot of old and new ephemera. So they collected this brochure. They bought these stickers for me, and the rockets, all these little bits here, world's famous kicks, the rockets go on and on, the description, and this is from a 1940s, I believe, Life magazine. I have a few in my collection, and when I was first making this book, I felt like I didn't have a lot of New York things, but look how beautiful it came together. You just have to look at your collection and sometimes reframe, create new perspective, and you'll be amazed about what you can find. This color chip says rocket launch. Come on, it's so perfect, and I'm so proud that I pieced this together. This is more of a filler page. We've got another page from the New Yorker. I've added these chipboard pieces because it's really cute. This is another pocket from the map, and then we've got this postcard from another artist, and that just slips in there, as well as the mailing slip for the New Yorker in here, and I like it to feature like that. Really cute. Brooklyn Bridge. This is what I would traditionally have thought is more my style, the vintage, grungy, a lot of inking, Tim Holtz elements. Surprisingly, I really enjoyed making this, and it just shows that you shouldn't pigeonhole yourself and just explore and let the pieces inspire you. So I do still really love this spread, and a lot of the stuff brings back, like, it all feels really lovely. We've got work hard, play hard, because Emma and Ruby are very much that. As you can see, they get a lot done in a short amount of time. This is a little nod to Ruby's favorite animal, the sea otter. I thought it was so cute, and the colors matched really nicely. I think this background paper is a photo play one. It says New York. I love schematics, which I'm sure you guys are probably overhearing, but schematics, the drawings, absolutely adore them. And then we have, of course, Brooklyn Bridge at night. Really nice. Oh, okay, so this is a 9/11 spread, and we made them interactive, of course. So they collected this postcard as well as the museum map, and I've made them both into, I don't know if you'll be able to see fully, but into, what are these called? Uptucks? No, these aren't uptucks, but like interactive opens. And we've got the welcome page with some chipboard elements, as well as a little space for journaling. And I cut up the brochure so you've got different images from the museum. I think that's really cute. We flip over. Oh, this is another one, guys, that I absolutely love. So this is Annie. They went to see together, and I redesigned the playbill. I felt like it needed a lot more oomph. It just incorporated this header, the title of the play, and it was all black. So I found this illustration from I think it was McCall's pattern, and I was like, you are perfect. And we've added some Tim Holtz decorative elements over here, as well as this New York breakfast T2 bag that I've created as a pocket. They bought these Qantas playing cards, and I had this art of conversation in my stash. Really cute. And they just sit in this pocket, if I can slide it in like that. Really cute. I feel like I keep saying that. Oh, another favorite. Speaking of just like keeping saying things, another one of my favorite, and I can't believe it's one of the final spreads that I'm showing you. So this is them in front of the Christmas tree I think it's in front of the New York Trade Center. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but look at this spread. I absolutely adore it. We've got this from a vintage gardening book, which is Christmas decorations and gifts from the garden. I believe it is an Australian book. And we've got a Tim Holtz Christmas tree, a paper doily, these chipboard. This looks like a peppermint and this looks like a snowflake. I've had them in my collection for literally years. And then we have, of course, Emma and Ruby being their iconic self, taking a photo near Christmas time because that is their family tradition. And this piece that I made on one of my first YouTube videos in relation to Christmas decor and using up your scraps. I think it's beautiful. Last but not least, we have Coming Home. Another iconic spread featuring reds, blues, game pieces. We've got their tickets home here. So this is Auckland to Sydney, just in this bingo pocket. These are vintage-ish, I believe, Scrabble playing cards for Ruby, E for Emma. All of this is completely thought out. And then another pocket made out of their New York to Auckland tickets. The blues and the reds stick out beautifully. We've got a vintage children's book dictionary illustration and definition here, and a little postcard, stamp, for Australia because home. I really like this. Okay, and then the back looks like this. I've put a little label that says Love Miga's Creations 2025 as my signature. We've got the stab binding. And that is the New York Travel Journal. Thank you all so much for sticking along and watching me piece these spreads together. I would absolutely love to know in the comments what your favorite spread is. Quick flip through of mine. Love this one. I love this one. I love this one. And I love this one. And lastly, I'd have to say this one. And if we're being this one. That's just a testament to crafting. You know what I mean? To love your work so much that you can pick through all of those pages and have multiple favorites. I'm really proud of this. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed the process and I'd love to hear from you what your favorite was. Please give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help the channel. Thank you all so much again, and I look forward to seeing you all in my next one. Bye-bye.